Hello, welcome to another My Game Shelf. If you recall one of my recent reviews of the game I designed called Battle for Saturn, it was a card game of interstellar space combat using cards for ship battles. Well, I took that step a little further and decided to make a interplanetary, interstellar strategic conflict game that reflects basically these battles that happen. Now, the games don't work together, but the subject matter is virtually the same, except I add an alien invasion force, which basically spices things up a bit. And the name of the game is Solar Crusade, War Among the Planets. Basically, it is the entire solar system, as well as neighboring solar systems, where war between the Solar Federation and the Solar League, Earth Force and the Solar League fight it out, and then an additional alien enemy appears to complicate things. And it's a game for 2 to 3 players among various planets of this solar system and 3 other systems. So let's take a look and see what's in it. The game essentially is a series of mats representing various solar systems. Now, these mats, separate mats, are put together in place to create the solar system, our solar system. As you can see, we have the planet Earth right here, the planet Earth. We have a terraformed Venus. We have a terraformed Mars, and we have a lot of other planets here. We have Mercury. We have the Earth. Or we have the Moon, Mercury, some of the asteroids. We have Jupiter and some of its moons. We have Saturn and some of its moons. We have Uranus and its moons, and Neptune and its moons. And then further afield, we have the Tau Ceti system with 2 planets there. We have the Epsilon Eridani 5 system with 4 planets. And we have the Delta Pavonis system with a series of planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 planets. So this game occupies a series of 4 star systems. And the game involves none of the same ships you'll find in that tactical card game are here, except instead of cards, they're actually pieces. Here's an example of one of the alien pieces, carrier, and when it's damaged, you flip it over the other side, and it has a reduced strength. Now, the pieces are placed on the board. You can see that ground forces are placed on planets, while starships are placed in orbit. Here we go. Fleet docks are there where ships can be built and repaired. We have fighter squadrons. And the game comes with a whole series of bags full of pieces. Here are the Solar League pieces. We have the Earth Force pieces here in the bag, quite a few of them. And we have the Alien Force right here in purple, and their ships, and ground forces. And what happens is ships move from planet to planet with a movement allowance. So, for example, this Terrador, these are the ships in orbit. If they wanted to move, they would go to here, to here, to here, to here, and to here, and to here. And they could make a series of movements all around the board. And these bright blue lines represent the lines can be traveled from place to place. The color represents the closeness. So, for example, here, going between Earth and Mars being dark is a very short trip, but the trip to Jupiter from Earth is a longer one because of its brighter color. It shows you it's a longer trip. And so the darker the line, the shorter the move. The brighter the line, the longer the move. And for example, here, going from Venus to Jupiter takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns to make that trip. So you've got to stay here for 5 turns before you could actually arrive at Jupiter. And then Jupiter you can take 1 trip to each of its moons, etc. So everything's laid out in a sort of orderly way, but to allow for movement of ships and material and men in this interplanetary, interstellar conflict. The game comes with dice that will be rolled for combat. Each side has a series of combat group charts, And this is where you can put your ships on these. And this would make, if you fill it up, a battle group. And for example, here is a battle group B. So you would put all your ships in your battle group A, and then place your battle group where it's going to be. So that marker would be the battle group, and here the ships would be, so you can tell which ships are in that battle group. There's 3 for Earth Force, 2 for the Solar League, and 2 for the alien invaders. For combat, ships are placed on this combat chart, and you have one side and the other side, and the ships are placed there, opposing ships, and they fight it out. And you have a right wing, left wing, and a right wing, left wing, and a center wing, and you conduct combat here. Then the results are played out on the large strategic map. Now there is I never made a manual for this, but I did type up a lot of rules. So the gameplay turns are all listed. The basic gameplay rules. There's movement rules and combat rules. Some basic the combat rules are shown here. How to do a combat example, and then of course you have all other rules: gravity well, starship rules, building new ships, battle groups, and how to put together a command. Now, what's interesting thing about this game is, for any player to do anything, you have to spend commands, and there's only so many commands you can spend each turn. And then you've spent, and your turn is over with. So that kind of controls how much can be done a turn. It makes players have to think about what they want, what matters most. Then there's various setup charts showing where, at the beginning of games, where the pieces are placed to start a game. For the Civil War scenario, you see this, and then we have the alien invasion set up with everything here. So that's been done. And there's a flip side to this too, so you can see what ships go where, what pieces go where on the map. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mats. The top series is our solar system, and of course this solar system, and this solar system. And and of course you have jump gates for each system to the other systems. So you move in hyperspace to get from system to system. And that's generally the game. Now, it can last many turns until certain objectives are met. It can beat up to 3 players. If you want to play the Civil War, you only need 2 players. If you want to play the Alien Invasion, you could do 2, or you could do 3. 1 player for each of the factions. It's not a complicated game, but there's a lot of strategy involved in deciding what your plan is going to be, how you're going to take over various planets and hold them against an enemy counterattack. The objective is to, of course, defeat the other guy. Here we have a lot of the rebel forces placed in the outer solar system and the Earth forces on the inner solar system. And they are going to be fighting each other for supremacy over that entire star system. The graphics I did, of course, I'm the designer and the artist, so all the graphics you see in all these games are mine. I did all the artwork. This is all mine, and I did everything. This is a one-man effort, all these games that have been designed. So I think I did a fairly good job here representing the solar system, the planets, etc. And it's high color, glossy. The mats are hard card stock, fold up very well, and they're pretty heavy. So they're lightweight. They fit into a decent-sized box. They fit right on a shelf, just like these right here. Just a nice box like that, so it's easy to fit on a shelf. And it's got all the parts and pieces you need. Now, this game has not been fully developed. It hasn't even been fully play-tested, so it's got a ways to go before it can be marketed. The rules book has to be made complete, has to be more play-testing, but then it would be available. Like a lot of games I've done, I never went all the way. I went a long way toward play-testing, and then I stopped short. Various things go on in your life that kind of cut things short. So I wasn't able to finish a lot of these. But if I have enough interest in these games, I will continue to proceed at finishing them so that they can be made for sale. If I get enough interest. I did get some interest on one earlier game that I showed you, the game on Rebel Mars. So maybe this one will show some interest too, and I'll be able to push this one forward. So that's all I have for this game. If you have any questions about it, if you have any suggestions, if you're interested in perhaps playing it sometime, I will pursue finishing the game, get the rules done, and try to get it made available to you on the Game Crafters, which is where I do all my games, because there you can buy the game and they will print it for you on demand and send it to you. They will make it for you when you order it. So there's no overhead for anyone. It's a much cheaper way of making games and having lots of games stacked up in warehouses hoping someone buys them. It makes them cost a little more, but the upshot is that there's not a lot of overhead, and you don't have to find a publisher. You can basically publish your own games, but sell them on the Game Crafter website. So that's a big advantage for someone like me who's not a professional game designer and doesn't have a publisher. Anyway, if you're interested in this game, let me know. If you'd like to see it go forward and become published, let me know, and I will endeavor to do so. It's signing off on my game shelf, and I'll see you again next time.